episode of the Bourbon Buds. This week we're reviewing one of bourbon's most budget-friendly bottles, Old Bardstown Bottled and Bond. Nick, you want to tell us about it?
Sure. So Old Bardstown is a product of Willett Reserve, which itself was founded in 1909. And what's interesting about this bottle, let's start with the label itself. It comes from the original Willett's founder's portfolio, that insignia, the horse insignia. And speaking of horses, Old Bardstown was named after an old 1950s racehorse with the same name. And despite his numerous ankle and hip injuries, he still managed to squeak out 18 first place wins. And from there, we just have Old Bardstown. Now, Zach, what else is special about Old Bardstown?
Well, before I mentioned that, I didn't know that was about the horse, even though the horse is on the label. I thought they were referring to Bardstown itself. It was just Old Bardstown.
And you'd think that because you can see it right here. It has a little town there, so I mean, I can understand that.
Yeah. What's interesting about this bottle is the bottled and bond version, which is what this one is. They only sell that in Kentucky. It's a Kentucky-only release. So if anybody comes through our state and they want a bottle that they can only get here and one that they can afford, I would pick this up. It's usually between $16 and $20 depending on retail prices and taxes on which store you get it from. So you ready to try it, Nick?
Yes, sir. Cheers.
A lot of very earthy kind of like herbal minty notes.
Mm-hmm. I got that and maybe a hint of like vanilla in there.
Yeah. It smells like a rye almost, where it's got the kind of earthy, you know.
Maybe when I think of rye, I think of spice. This doesn't really give me too much of a rye vibe. It's very earthy though. I do like it.
Nick, what do you think of it?
Earthy. It sort of mixes with like an oaky sort of taste to it. And if you let it simmer on your palate for a little bit, you might be able to taste a small hint of mint in there. It's an unusual flavor. It's an unusual tasting bourbon.
Yeah, I mean, I like it because, I mean, for $20, it's a bourbon full of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those flavors are very earthy and minty,
Yeah.
like Nick said. I get more mint than I think you do. I think it tastes like straight mint outside of the earthy, flavors it has to it. It's one of these bourbons, I think, that really tastes how it smells. Because a lot of times you get certain flavors off the smell and it doesn't taste like that, but this one does.
I don't think this is a bourbon that tastes how it smells. It is similar, but the biggest thing is I get more of a vanilla scent off of on the nose.
That's fair.
More so than the earthy, oaky taste. Like, I'm not saying it's not there, but it's not as
prominent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Zach, what are your final thoughts on this bottle?
That's really it. I mean, it's a good budget bottle.
Yep, just like Zach said in the intro, folks, it's a budget-friendly bottle of bourbon. I think it's pretty good for $16. You can't go wrong here. You can't go wrong with this, and I understand we've said that, but this is a $16 bottle. I think it's worth what, like $40.
Oh, at least it's a great value.
Oh yeah. So I mean, if any bourbon enthusiasts are down here, pick up a bottle or two.
Or a case.
Yeah, you can pick up a case, bottle, in any way you can to enjoy this bourbon, a friend. But if nothing else, that will be the conclusion of this week's episode. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. Be sure to follow our Instagram in the link in the. Be sure to follow our Instagram in the description below, and yeah.